Ever wonder how someone ends up being called the most powerful person in the world? Yep, I'm talking about the US president. That person sitting in the Oval Office, making decisions that impact, well, pretty much everything. But here's the million-dollar question. How exactly does this all work? Is it just some fancy popularity contest, or is there more to it? Well, buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive into the wild, strategic, and occasionally confusing world of US presidential elections. This is your crash course to understanding how America picks its president. And trust me, it's a lot more complicated than just counting votes. So it all begins with what we call primaries and caucuses. Think of it as the presidential version of American Idol. But instead of Simon Cowell, we've got Iowa farmers and New Hampshire town halls. In a primary, voters get to vote in secret, like a classic ballot box situation. But in a caucus, picture your neighbors all crammed into a gymnasium, passionately arguing over which candidate has the best smile, or policies, I guess. Now, winning these early states? Huge deal. It's like getting the first rose on The Bachelor. You're not quite there, but everyone knows you've got a shot. And when the dust settles, candidates collect delegates who head to the national conventions like political hype men. To lock in their party's nomination, candidates need to win delegates, a lot of them. For Republicans, it's 1,007. For Democrats, they need a whopping 2,076. No, this isn't a math quiz, but these numbers matter. The more delegates you snag, the better chance you have at becoming your party's nominee, and maybe even the next president. And trust me, every candidate wants to win Iowa and New Hampshire. Not because they're big, but because they're like the cool kids at school. If you can impress them, the rest of the country might just follow. All right, once the nominees are chosen, the real circus begins, the general election. Here's where we get rallies with crowds so pumped they make Super Bowl fans look tame, and debates so intense you'd think the candidates were auditioning for a Netflix drama. These debates are crucial. Say the right thing and boom, you're a genius. Say the wrong thing and, well, the internet will never let you forget it. Now, let's talk about voting, because this is where things get spicy. You might think, oh, the person with the most votes wins? Well, nope. Enter the Electoral College, a quirky little system we've had since the 1700s. Every state gets a certain number of electoral votes based on its population. Win the popular vote in a state? Congrats, you get all of its electoral votes. Well, except for Maine and Nebraska, who like to do things a bit differently because, why not? So, candidates don't just care about winning votes, they care about winning the right votes. And that's where swing states come into play. Florida, Pennsylvania, Michigan. These states are like that one person at a party everyone wants to talk to. They're unpredictable and can make or break an election. Election night? It's a roller coaster of emotions. States start turning red or blue as results pour in, and it's like watching a dramatic sports game with way higher stakes. The candidate who racks up 270 electoral votes first? They're the winner. But it's not always that simple. Take 2020, for example. It took 4 days after the election for the Associated Press to declare Joe Biden the winner. Why? Well, lots of early voting and mail-in ballots means counting takes time. Like waiting for your Uber Eats when you're starving, it feels endless. Finally, on January 20th, the winner gets sworn in at the US Capitol. It's a huge moment, the peaceful transfer of power that's been a staple of American democracy since the 1700s. The new president takes an oath, the crowd cheers, and voila, a new era begins. The best part? Inauguration Day is a celebration with all the pomp and circumstance America loves, parades, balls, and way too much confetti. Because if there's one thing we know how to do, it's throw a party. So, there you have it. The US presidential election in all its complicated, dramatic, and occasionally messy glory. Next time someone asks if you understand how the election works, you can casually drop words like delegates, electoral college, and swing states. And maybe, just maybe, you'll sound like a political genius. Thanks for watching. And remember, every vote counts.